The media will have you think black wealth didn't exist until recently. That black people only started building money, ownership, and influence in the last few decades. That idea is not just wrong, it's intentional. Because long before social media, before celebrity entrepreneurs, before modern conversations about generational wealth, black people were already building empires under conditions designed to stop us. Today, I want to share three early black millionaires no one talks about, whose stories prove that black wealth has always existed, even when history tried to erase it. These aren't myths. These aren't exceptions. These are receipts. Let's start with a name most people have never heard. O.G. Worley. O.G. Worley, born Owen G. Worley, was a black businessman and landowner in the late 1800s. And at a time when black ownership was violently resisted, Worley accumulated wealth through real estate, banking, and land investments. Worley understood something very early. Land was power. He acquired property across the Midwest and South, building wealth quietly and strategically. But what made Worley extraordinary wasn't just that he became wealthy. It was how he used his wealth. Worley invested in black communities. He supported black businesses. He helped finance opportunities for others to own land, build homes, and gain economic independence. And for that, he was targeted. As his influence grew, so did opposition. White competitors and institutions worked aggressively to undermine his success. His story was slowly pushed out of public record, reduced to footnotes, because it contradicted the narrative that black people couldn't build wealth without permission. But Worley proves that black economic intelligence existed even when the system tried to crush it. Now, let's talk about a name that should be taught alongside U.S. presidents, Abraham Lincoln Lewis. Did you know there were two Abraham Lincolns who shaped American history? One changed the law, the other changed daily life. Abraham Lincoln Lewis was born just 3 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. He came of age in a world where freedom existed on paper, but access did not. Lewis became Florida's first black millionaire through insurance, business ownership, and collective economics. He was a leader in the Afro-American Life Insurance Company and believed deeply that black people needed economic infrastructure, not just legal rights. But his most powerful contribution came in 1935. That year, Lewis founded American Beach on Amelia Island, Florida. At the time, black families were routinely turned away from whites-only beaches, humiliated for wanting rest and recreation. So Lewis created a solution. American Beach wasn't a luxury resort, it was a declaration. It was built so black families could vacation safely, gather freely, and experience joy without apology. It became a cultural hub for black professionals, business owners, educators, and artists. Zora Neale Hurston spent time there. Families built traditions there. Children learned what freedom felt like there. Lewis believed wealth should circulate within the community. His vision wasn't individual success, it was collective advancement. He understood that ownership protects dignity. And yet, despite all of this, his name is rarely mentioned when people talk about American wealth builders. Now let's talk about a woman whose story was deliberately distorted. Hannah Elias. Hannah Elias was one of the wealthiest black women of the late 1800s, and her story makes people uncomfortable because it doesn't fit the stereotypes history prefers. Born into poverty in the South, Hannah Elias moved north and eventually accumulated significant wealth through real estate and investments in New York City. She owned multiple properties at a time when black women were denied basic financial autonomy. But instead of being recognized as a savvy investor, her success was reframed as scandal. When Elias became involved in a legal dispute with a wealthy white man, the press sensationalized her story. They painted her as manipulative, immoral, and dangerous. Not because she broke laws, but because she broke expectations. The truth is, Hannah Elias understood leverage. She understood contracts. She understood property. And she used the limited tools available to her in a system that never intended for her to win. Her wealth terrified people. So history tried to discredit her instead of studying her. And that's a pattern you'll see over and over again. When black wealth builders can't be erased, they're reframed. When they can't be denied, they're demonized. O.G. Worley, Abraham Lincoln Lewis, Hannah Elias. 3 different paths, 3 different strategies, one shared truth. Black wealth has always existed. What didn't exist was fair recognition. These stories matter because they challenge the lie that we are new to ownership, intelligence, or economic strategy. They remind us that black excellence didn't start with hashtags or viral moments. It started with land, with insurance, with contracts, with vision. And it survived despite violence, exclusion, and erasure. So, the next time you hear someone say black people are just now learning about wealth, remember this: we've always known. The question has never been capability, it's been access, protection, and preservation. If stories like this matter to you, follow for more untold black history that connects our past, our power, and our principles, and share this with someone who was never taught that black wealth didn't start yesterday.